Okay, so here we have Microsoft Excel. So if you follow along with me, you can see over on the left side are a bunch of numbers. Those are row numbers, all right? And they represent all of the rows. They go into the millions. Along the top are the column letters, and it's important to remember the difference between columns and rows because in instructions, it's going to tell you to do a certain effect to a row or to a column, and if you get them mixed up, you're going to be doing them backwards. So the first thing I want you to do is if you click on the letter A for column A, you'll see it highlights or selects all of column A to infinity or to the very end of it. It would be impossible for you to just click and drag all the way to the end. So if you click on letter A, highlights all of column A. So I want you to go ahead and do that. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that anything we type in column A is bold. So if you click on the bold icon right here, you don't see the effect, but from now on, anything you type into column A will be bold. We're actually going to go ahead and do the same thing to row 1. So if you click on the number 1 for the row, not click and drag, but click right on the left side, and then click on bold again, and you may have to actually unclick it and re-click it because you have sort of an overlap there with column or cell A1. That will make everything in row 1 be bold. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and in cell A1. All right. So if you take the column letter and the row number, put them together, sort of like playing Battleship or Bingo. That's how you come up with what's called the cell address. All right. So you just kind of put the two coordinates together. In cell A1, I want you to type in student name. No, just the word student name. All right. So if you press enter, you'll see it overlaps into column B, right? So what you need to do now is be able to make those columns wider. So if you take a look at the screen, what I'm going to do is move my mouse pointer to right in between where column A and column B intersect, right? And you'll get a little icon that looks like a line with two arrows. It only appears if you put it in just exactly the right spot. That will allow you to adjust the width of that column. So you have two choices. You can either just drag it out so it looks right, or you can do an auto fit, which is just double clicking and it will automatically fit itself to the longest thing in that column. And you can keep on adjusting that based on what you type in, what looks good, and such. So I want you to do the same thing in column B on cell B1. I want you to type in height. And these are going to be in inches, so we're going to put IN period in parentheses. Okay. And again, make that column wider. I'll go ahead and zoom in on this screen, see what I'm doing here. In column C1, I'm going to type in pets. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in the pound sign to represent number of pets so that people aren't typing in the name of their pet or a yes or no. Just type in numbers. Okay. And in D1, I'm going to type in siblings. And again, I'm going to put a pound sign to represent number of. And I'm going to go ahead and auto fit that or drag that out. So I've got student name, height, pet, and siblings. Notice when you press enter, that is when it sort of locks in whatever it is you're typing into that cell. It acts a little bit differently than Microsoft Word. Now, if I have these typed in, all right, I think it'll look better if I actually take these column headers and center them. So I could go through and highlight all of them or select them. Or I could click on the number 1 for the row 1. It'll highlight the entire row again like I did for bolding. And I'm going to go ahead and center these as well, so that they'll be centered within those particular cells. All right, so these are my column headers. Now, I want to go ahead and type in a series of 10 different people here. And we're going to do that here in a moment. But I want to leave room for those 10 different people. So I'm going to skip cell A2. Okay, and this is just mentally in my head. I'm skipping cell A2. And I'm going to start with my first name in cell A3. So I want you to go ahead and type in your name. Go ahead and type in just your first name is fine. Go ahead and type in your height. And we're going to do that in inches. So that's the challenge. If you're 4 foot 2 inches, you're going to need to do a little bit of math so you can be 4 foot 2 inches in inches. So we've got our height in inches. Then I want you to go ahead and type into the next column the number of pets you have and then the number of siblings you have. Now notice I can move from cell to cell by using the tab button. All right, or I can use my mouse and click to those. And then what I want you to do is scroll down to cell A14. A14. And in all caps, I want you to type in the word total. And you'll see why we're doing this in a moment. Type in the word total. And then in cell A15, we're going to type in the word average. So now what I want you to do is we're going to get up, we're going to walk around, and we are going to fill in each other's spreadsheets with just your first name, what your height in inches are, or is, because you have already calculated that now, number of pets and number of siblings. So if you don't know your information, look at your screen right now. That's the same stuff you're going to be typing into each other's. We only want to have 10 people, so that means we're going to stop at cell A12. And then we will have a completed spreadsheet that we'll be able to move on to the next part.